Okay, so I'm going to do this again for today. The same basic thing as yesterday, only things have changed. There is now a moderate risk for severe weather from central and eastern Missouri, western and central Kentucky, down through northern and western Tennessee, into central or like middle Tennessee, or Nashville points east to Cookeville. There is also an enhanced risk from Texas, Arkansas, northern and western Mississippi, northern central Mississippi, most of western Tennessee, southern and central Tennessee, and all of eastern Tennessee, up into Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, areas like that. There is a slight risk for a much larger portion, and then there's also a marginal risk that's covers a lot of area as well. Again, grayish general thunderstorm risk. Now, it's when you get into the tornado threat that you really start to notice something. Green is a 2% risk. That brownish red color is a 5% risk. And in the center of that is a 10% hatched risk, which again is 10% chance of significant tornadoes EF2 or higher. Now that EF2 threat goes from Arkansas up into Missouri, northern West Tennessee into central and northern and central Middle Tennessee. And there is a secondary tornado risk for the northern part of the U.S. Now, the wind threat is pretty substantial here with this.
It's getting hot in here.
Okay, there is a 5% chance for there is a 5% chance for damaging wind outside of the main area into what looks like, Texas, part of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, areas like that. There is then also a 15% risk. A lot of Tennessee and into North Carolina is under a 30% chance for that one. But then there's areas that are again hatched for wind, which is at a 30% chance of significant wind damage. There is also, however, for Nashville, points north and west, of a 45% chance for significant damage in winds. Let me take that radar off because I did not mean to put that on. Come on, where did I go? Where did it go? Wrong button. Sorry, y'all, bear with me for a second. Okay, there we go. That 45% chance is fairly significant for this area. Now, for the hail area, they've kind of changed this a little bit. This area is still under significant 30% chance. Now, there is a higher risk of 45% back to the west in northern and western Tennessee. Now, one thing I'm going to try and do different than I did yesterday, let me take off the severe weather threat, and I'm going to go in and look at the forecasted weather model to see when all that's supposed to move through. There's global, okay. And again, y'all, sorry, bear with me whenever it comes to this. I'm a little bit rushed. I'm a little bit new with all this, so it takes me a minute. So it's trying to hint at a little bit of activity. This was this morning. There was a little bit of storms that came through earlier. Okay, that has since passed. It's still trying to hint at 1 p.m. A few little cells. Really, you'd be looking for anything for this evening's storms. You'd be looking back more or less. You'd still be looking up more towards St. Louis. So more back in here for the worst of it at that point. That does not mean you can't get anything outside of that. No. That's just where the main line is at that time. It's trying to hint at a few little cells, trying to go discrete, which is what you don't want to see in an event like this. Tries to hint at a few more storms trying to build. Well, then the main line is still back to the west. It's kind of broken, it looks like, which is good, at least on radar, until it reaches past us in central Tennessee and middle Tennessee. And it kind of takes its sweet time moving out. It, according to this, doesn't clear till about 10 in the morning. So it's going to be a bumpy ride. Anyway, everyone, I know this is kind of rough. I apologize. I do want to get better eventually with it, but that's just more or less to show y'all what we're expecting. Please stay safe, everyone. And if a warning is issued, don't hesitate to take action. They're moving fast. There are times where you may not have the time to sit there and think on it. If it's issued, I'd rather be safe than sorry. As soon as the warning is issued, take shelter. If it, that way if it does hit, hey, you're protected. If not, hey, you took the precautions. Anyway, y'all, stay safe. And, we'll get through it all together. We'll all be okay.